Okay. Are you really gonna eat that apple?
No.
The first question's about
Apples.
We are back with part 3 of this video. Our first part was so long, our first time that we sat down was so long we had to divide it into 2 parts. Now we have the questions that were left to us on Instagram and BitChute, which is another, a lot of you probably don't know about that website. It's kind of like YouTube, and my videos are automatically sent there as well. So we have a few questions from there. It's definitely, it's a growing website. It's not as, I don't have as many followers there as YouTube, but anyway, let's get started. Since you were eating that apple, our first question is about diet from Teresa. I heard you say, and she actually left this question on our first Q&A video from a couple days ago, so I told her I'd stick it in here. I heard you say you were trying vegan. Did you stick with it?
Oh no.
I know, it was really short-lived.
A year and a half actually. So that
Really?
it was a
that
long,
long?
yeah, it was a long time. But
Never been that long.
because I wasn't very good at eating things in moderation, I developed allergies from some of the things I was eating.
Too much of the alternative foods. Also, what is a healthy way of eating in your opinion? I was wondering how you keep from gaining weight or how you keep your weight down. I don't do anything specific for weight. I think a lot of it for me is actually genes that I had nothing to do with. I have just a naturally thin family. Healthy way of eating for us is real food. That's the ideal. Real meat, real fresh milk from the farmer, you know, fruits, vegetables, making fresh juice, like that to us is ideal.
There's a book that we read.
Yeah, a long time ago we read a book called Real Food.
And
it really was eye-opening.
Yep.
Okay, Turkey Shoot said, why did the chicken cross the road? I don't know. I can see. You're going to have to go somewhere else for that kind of depth. I don't think I can handle that.
Well, she won't let me go into it.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, Ashley. Do your kids fight much, and how do you deal with it? It's so frustrating. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, they do.
Yes, we have seasons. So it's
Right.
like sometimes the siblings that will lock in on each other and just
Right.
be at it for a week or so, whatever.
Right.
They look to bother
Kids
each
will
other.
go through seasons where they kind of will have challenges with one or the other. Yeah, our kids do fight every day. And sometimes it's hard for me to remember that probably other people's kids fight every day too. Sometimes I get really frustrated, like, why are we fighting? This is not what we're supposed to be. I don't record their fighting because I don't enjoy them fighting, so I didn't want to make you sit there at all. How do we deal with it?
Wait, I wanted to talk about how sometimes it's like the kids are all on the same team, and it usually is like an introduction of something new, or like when they get locked in and get like a vision and a purpose together.
Right.
Like we'll see amazing selflessness happening.
Right. Then there's no fighting. When they're all like on the same page and they have the same focus and vision, or not even the same vision, but when they all feel purposeful, the fighting just seems to disappear. So
specifically the older kids, because the younger kids follow the older kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it does seem almost like it goes back to a question we answered on the last video about discipline, that when their love tanks are full, then you don't have so much fighting. So it's kind of like the back way to eliminate it instead of just don't fight, don't fight, don't fight, which doesn't seem to help very much.
Right. We don't nail it.
We're still learning how to do this.
And don't pay attention to that sort of thing.
A long time ago I heard a mom who was older than me say that instead of just pointing out the don't do that and don't do that all day long, that you should try to have way more of the great job, you know, I like how you did that, you had a good attitude. Speak the positive things out loud, because then the mood of your house will kind of go that way. But if you are more emphasizing the don't do this and don't do that, then the mood of your house will go that way. So it's something to think about, that we set the tone in our house. And so sometimes it's a stretch and you have to work really, really hard to find something nice to say. Sometimes I'm like, I can't find something. But just encouraging them in the positive. Making them, say, I'm sorry. I have mixed feelings about that. Like, if you're not sorry, why are you saying I'm sorry?
Yep.
But sometimes you fake it till you make it.
And we usually have them mention what it is, like, I'm sorry for.
Bring it here. Yes, yeah, go into
Not
specific.
just,
That's something we've been working on a
I'm
lot
sorry.
lately, is kind of looking in their eyes to work this out, because our kids tend to be like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
and that's just insincere, and so we're still working through it. We're all imperfect, and we're learning how.
I wanted to mention that the I thing, I think that's huge. So like when we're talking to our kids or correcting him, no, I'm just holding her.
Okay.
But I didn't want to have her head cut off, so when she sits naturally, I'm gonna have her.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice.
All right. So whenever we correct them or want their attention and like they want to listen, because we have some kids that it feels like we can tell them 6, 7, 8 times and they don't hear us, but it's like it seems to work a little better when we have their eyes, when they look at us. It's like somebody said, if we have their eyes, we have their heart.
Yeah.
And I really agree with that.
Yeah. Have them look in your eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay. I feel like we could talk all day about that one.
Yep.
Webfiend 2000. What vehicle do you use to fit all of you? What are the pros and cons of it? Asking because I have as many kids as you and a newborn, so at this time we're using 2 vehicles to get around. Something that I should point out, and I don't know about for this one as well, but these questions that came through BitChute, it's primarily, I think, is it a European-based website? So a lot of the questions are coming from people out of the U.S., which was the same on ours as well, but,
Right.
just to throw that out there.
Yeah. So we have a 2004 Ford E350, which means it's a 1-ton. It's heavy duty. It's called a Super Duty. And it happens to have a diesel engine. I know, I love it.
Cold.
I love it.
I'm sorry I keep interrupting, but
It just
it's
dropped
the first
20
day of
degrees.
fall, 20 degrees down.
Yeah,
And so I'm
from
like,
yesterday.
I need more clothes on.
So
I gotta snuggle you and so we
great.
stay warm.
So anyway, it's a heavy duty vehicle, and there's a couple reasons why we have it. We wouldn't need quite as heavy duty. We could get away with less. But I wanted the diesel engine for longevity and fuel economy. So the van that we're next to right now, at best got us 11 miles per gallon going down the road, and at best so far our blue van, the one we're driving, is about 17. I think it'll do 18. I just haven't paid attention, and that's mixed for the blue van. I've never done just highway. That's mixed driving, so that means that it should probably get better. And if I did some modifications to the engine, we would get better.
Right.
Long story short, the worst that the white van has gotten us was 8, and so that's like about twice. We almost always get 16 miles per gallon, so that's half of what we're paying for fuel. Now diesel's just a little bit more expensive.
You're geeking
This is a geek. I've been like thinking about this for a very, very, very long time. So I'm like anticipating the next vehicle already.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay.
limit
the
your
next
car
step will
questions
be-
here. This will be a really long video because he's so passionate about it.
Yes, it's a 12 passenger, and we can move it up to be a 15 passenger by getting a back row and 2 seat belts. But then we would lose storage. So
The funny story about our van is that we bought it from a police station, right?
no.
No. That's why it's really funny. Okay, it used to transport criminals, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sheriff's office or
It was
something.
a share. It was a
Whatever.
deputy, yeah.
I think it's really funny that we're now transporting our kids because sometimes, you feel like you're transporting criminals.
Yeah.
Joking. Okay. Bubonic says,
She's not letting me. Hold on a second.
oh,
so
you
for
have
the,
more to say.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
So if you're in the European realm, you have a lot more options, I think, than what we do. You have smaller diesel engines in larger vehicles, which
Oh.
is awesome. In the United States, we're very limited, so I don't know if you're in Europe or where you're at, but if you are in Europe, you can get a 6-cylinder diesel pretty easily and get in the 30 miles per gallon U.S. figures, which I think would be great. Can you let him have that? Thank you. So the Ford has a Transit. I'm sure they have many versions. I don't know my European models very well, but I know that they have a European model of that, and I'm sure it has a diesel. Volkswagens have a couple different options for sitting more. But The one vehicle for us works, even though it gets awful fuel economy. It's more efficient when it comes to time for us than driving. Not to mention maintenance and cost of insurance and stuff like that.
We wouldn't want to be.
Right now, we only have one working vehicle anyway, so we're using it for everything.
It's working. Okay, Bubonic. What is your job? I think having 10 children would cost a lot. Oh, there's only 8. 8 children, 10 people. We're not there yet. Maybe we'll get there.
10. They have. Oh, wow.
They're saying we had 10 children.
Oh.
No, just 8. 10 of us.
Yes.
I would think it would cost a lot of money. Why did you want to have many kids? It's a lot of responsibility, and do you want to have more? Yeah, we will take more if God sends more. It is a lot of responsibility. It doesn't have to cost a lot. The only thing that will always consistently go up is food, obviously.
As they grow.
But other things, I mean, if you use hand-me-downs and things,
We do.
it doesn't matter once you have a couple kids, then they can pass things down.
Yeah, even for us, like outfits and whatnot, we just did a major haul at a Goodwill, a thrift store.
No, it wasn't. It was Savers. Oh, the one that I videoed. Yeah.
So, as I was, they had like a yellow tag, half price, and we ended up just really scoring. I had 3 beautiful shirts like this, the Van Heusen, or I don't know how you pronounce it, Stratford. And they were like $2 each, and then a pair of really comfortable, very good conditioned khaki pants for $2.
You can thrift store it if you need to.
Or $4 or something, whatever.
There's plenty of ways to cut costs for having a lot of children. And as far as even as we're looking forward in the future for things like college, I scholarshiped my way through college. I was homeschooled through high school and found ways to get scholarships, and so even there's just ways to make it work.
Yeah, I just listened to a podcast about let me look him up real quick while she's talking, but it was basically he just came out with a book of how to do college without going into debt, and his main tagline, but his main theme is it's not easy, but it can happen. And people are like, oh, it's impossible to get a doctor, to get a lawyer, and he just kind of lays the groundworks at how to make it happen. And I think that the principle that we basically adopt in a lot of the things that we do is that we don't do it mainstream. We don't do it the easy way necessarily. And I don't mean like we're such hard workers and we're dedicated, but I mean like we find and just say, hey, this can be done. We can do this, but it's going to take us a little bit longer. It's going to work a little bit different. It's not going to be quite as shiny. Whatever it is, there's going to be a little bit more hassle, and we can still accomplish that.
Yeah, make it work. And your job is financial advisor. We've mentioned that on one of the other.
Yes.
Oh, why do we want to have more kids?
I have no idea. No. Why do we want to have it? Because we feel like, I think that the simple answer is that we feel like we're being obedient to God, because we feel that God has placed it on our hearts specifically that children are a blessing, and that we have the ability or the possibility to raise godly men and women to go out there and be a part of the community and have a positive effect on things. This is kind of ties into a lot of the things that we feel like God put on our heart, that we are to build a community of people that love and serve each other. And what easier way to do that than with your family? Mm-hmm. And it limits maybe some of the things that we're able to do, like activities for the kids. But and even for us. But we've talked to the kids, and we try to make sure we have this conversation fairly regularly. Are you okay with giving up some of the material things so that we can have a large family? And someone jokingly said no once, but I think they're on board, right? Yeah.
The blessings far outweigh the burden. Okay, Alicia Mashosho, why are you so amazing? That's not a fair question. This is my girl. Why are you so amazing? Right, she is my cheerleader. Okay.
Real quick. Anthony O'Neill is the guy who just did a book, and if I could find the title of it,
just look up Anthony O'Neill.
How to get through college debt free, and he debunks some of the misbeliefs about finance and success.
Nice.
Great story.
Layborn journey. What is your favorite go-to meal or snack as a nursing mom? If I'm really hungry and I don't have any time, I'll just like dig a spoonful of like sunflower butter or something like that and a glass of fresh milk and just be like, blah, 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 you know, that's my fast go-to meal, snack, I mean. As far as meals, I just kind of cook what I cook for everybody, so I don't get anything special. And she also asked, when do you think your house building project will start? Which we actually addressed in the last video, so I'll let that one go.
Yeah.
Okay, Fields Full House, who also has a YouTube channel. You have to go check her out. What is the best and hardest thing about having a large family? I would say, man, this question is like so deep and rich.
There's so
and
many
big.
different answers.
Right. So the hard thing, I think, would just be kind of like your surface level things. Like logistically,
Yeah.
it's, you know, it is more work to, you know, wash more clothes or, you know, that kind of thing. So
Buy
that would
groceries.
be, right.
Or
And
keep everybody
it
quiet.
takes a lot more diligence on your part to make sure that you are really giving each child what they need, like the specifics that they need, because they are still one individual. We might have a large family, but each of us is one single individual, and you want to make sure that that person is able to, you know, find the path that God has laid forth in their life and able to do the things they need to pursue that, and that they are being poured into, and
that they're not stunted by being in a large family.
yeah, you want to make sure that each person is getting 100% of the opportunity that they could, whether they're in a family and they're the only child or they're in a family with 8 kids.
I would say that someone's going to argue potentially that there's no way that you're going to be able to give them 100% of the potential because they're in a large family,
Sure.
yada yada.
Well, I think probably a big problem in our country with these 1 or 2 kid situations is that the parents are able to do too much for that child, and that could possibly stunt that child as well, because we want to raise.
Fired.
Not that every single parent does. I know a lot that don't, that have 1 or 2 kids.
Right.
But the possibility is there that because
People live
you
for their kids rather
have
than
only a child or 2, you
Right.
could just do everything for them. And we really want to. Whoops! She just knocked my phone off. We really want to raise kids who are adults that are independent and confident and able to do things for themselves. And so it's to our advantage that we can start that now, because we need everybody to pitch in and help.
I think it's fun because like when we go somewhere to help and we're just starting to become in strength here as far as the older kids, when we go to do something, it's like we get it done and we're out. Like people are like, wow, you guys got that done fast. I'm like, yeah, because we had a vision, like everybody was seeing, hey, this is what we're doing. They go in, they do it, and then we come out. Like we have a neighbor who we enjoy quite a bit, and he's very generous to us, and they're loving to us, and he's a farmer, and so sometimes, recently he had shoulder surgery, and so it was kind of in mid-year, and so he needed some stuff done in the field. He's like, hey, could you? And we're like, yep. We come over, and we like knock it out in no time, and it was just really fun. Like the kids enjoy it. They enjoy work. They enjoy hard work. And I'm like loving this beautiful weather.
Every time the breeze comes, I snuggle her.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that's good. That's best and hardest.
Not to mention, it's like fun to like wrestle my boys, to play with my girls. So it's like we go and when we do things together, you get it in multiples, and it's really fun. And let's say that we just had 1 child, there's probably going to be small seasons where they get on your nerves, and it's like they're not even doing anything necessarily, just them in general.
All the attention is on them.
Yeah, is like, oh goodness, I love you, but wow. And we're having a large family, you can kind of hop around a little bit.
It takes
it's like,
the pressure
I'm going to
off of
spend some
them.
time with somebody else right now while we're having these difficulties.
We're probably going to get so attacked for all these things we're saying. Jason has a different perspective too, because he had 1 stepbrother that was 14 years younger, but in his house that he was raised primarily, it was just him.
Yep.
And so he lived this life of being the only child there.
All alone.
So now it's like I have 9 kids, because I have him plus all the other kids. Okay. Let's see here. Crunchy mom of a barnyard. That's a great name there. Do you leave your fertility in God's hands? Yes. How do you handle negative looks or comments on your large family? Again, I just feel, Jason.
No.
No, we're being really bad. We're gonna have to refilm this, or I'm gonna kick you out.
I'm feeling a little spunky this morning.
I again feel like we are, that we are so favored in this area.
I agree, really.
We rarely ever get negative looks or comments. I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's not like we're just this model family.
Honestly, I really do believe that it is God's grace over our family. And it's not something we're doing. It's not something we say, how we look, how we operate. I mean, our kids are really good in public, so that helps, I think. But
right, when we go out and about and we interact with people, it's good.
Really respectful. Yeah, it is.
But I don't know why, but we found that this has been our truth since the beginning.
Yep.
I have a lot of girlfriends that will say, even from family and things, that they'll be like, what, you're having another child? You know, it's really negative.
Right.
We just did not have that. Our family's supportive. People we meet are supportive. Of course, now that we're on YouTube, you get some comments.
We've had some people in our family
raise their eyebrow.
Yeah.
Well, sure, but
we just say
we did too. We're like, no.
We're crazy, and they're like, oh, okay, you're crazy.
I just feel like it's been a positive thing. If I guess you could just be cheerful if you get a negative comment. Just cheerful and say, we really enjoy all our kids, and we wouldn't want to send one back, and this is a blessing to us. I mean, I guess just respond in a positive way if you got a lot of that. Wildflower Homestead is asking for an updated curriculum video. I can do that. This is S. Emery. Hey, this is my cousin Sue. Hi.
Hi, Sue.
How do you do bedtime routines with 8 children in a small home? I keep thinking I should actually do a video on this.
I think so. Because I really think that this is an area.
Yeah, we kind of got this down.
Yeah.
So I think I should do a video on
pretty well.
Bedtime. We talked about it a little bit.
We don't start it early enough, but.
You know what? I had to lay that down because I realized that we're having too much fun at night. We can't just go to bed too early. So, yeah, we try to get them in.
Well, I come home later.
Yeah, we have dinner later. We try to get our kids in bed about 8:30, and then the older ones can read. I think I talked about this, I did, on the last Q&A video, so check back there, and I'll plan to do a video where you can actually see what we do. Hi Emma. How do you teach the kids when they are different grade levels? I think, I was telling Jason that I think this is the Emma that we know and used to teach, so hello to you.
How's Florida?
How do we teach them when they're different grade levels? Well, what we can do, we do together. So when we study history, for example, everybody hears the same thing because history doesn't change if you're in 2nd grade or 12th grade. It's still the same history. And so we'll read it at the advanced level, and then the little ones will get what they can out of it. And when they are older, we'll be reading the same thing again. We cycle it around again, so they'll hear it again with their more advanced brains. And then people will write a paper or things depending on what's appropriate for their age level. And other things like math, everybody does their own level. So we have an online program that there's an instructor who actually does a lecture, and then they'll do their math like that. So a lot of it is that when you're in school, your teacher will tend to explain a lot of things, and you'll just kind of sit there and absorb and then do homework and things in response to that. But when you're homeschooled, you get the opportunity to have some things explained to you, but in a lot of ways, you learn how to almost teach yourself. You learn how to, whoops, you want to go help him? That sounds like he needs a papa help. Thank you. You learn how to learn how to teach yourself. And this is why they say that homeschooled kids can adjust. Wow, do you guys hear that wind? That's serious wind. I hope the sound's still okay. But this is why a lot of times they'll say that homeschooled kids can adjust really easily to going into college, because in college, what do you have to do? You have to kind of guide your own education and sort of teach yourself. You know, the professor's not doing as much for you as your teacher did when you were in grade school. And so for kids that are homeschooled, they have been learning that way all along. And so it makes it very easy for them to transition into college because it's not a new way of learning, it's what they're already used to. So, hold on, I dropped my phone again. So that kind of answers that question. And I will link below our homeschooling videos so that you can see more about that. Okay, Julie Colleen says, how did you fit another child into your small house? And she said also that she would love to see a video on each child, what they're learning in school and how they spend their free time. We did this actually, it's probably been about a year ago that we did a day in the life of each of our kids. So of course it's changed because a year is a big jump, but I will link that playlist below so that you can see that. And I guess we'll have to do an updated one. How did we fit another child into our small house? We're just cozy, but right now she's only this big, so she fits pretty easily. I actually got, travel-sized things, so in the living room, for her to lay in, I got a little travel-sized bassinet so that she has a place to go, and we got a smaller swing because all of that stuff comes in smaller sizes as well as the full size. So she's snuggling in there right now. Our loft is actually pretty large. It's an L shape, so we have a king-size bed up there, and then on the two L's we have a baby bed for her and another baby bed for James, who just turned 2 and he's still up there. So right now everybody's fitting.
And book space, cabinet space.
Yeah, right. We have all that up there too. Yep. So it's working. Mm-hmm. It's working. And oh, is that it? I think that might be. Let me make sure I got it all. Yep, I think that's our last question. We did it! We did it. This has been really fun, you guys. And I think that in the future we should do another video like this.
Sure.
Gather more questions, do it again. I don't know, I thought this was fun.
Yep, because it helps us to understand why we do what we do.
Yeah, it helps us understand and it helps us to
do we need to make changes?
Get a relationship with you guys more. So if you would like us to do more Q&A videos, please let us know, because we just want to give you what you want here. That's why it's a give and take relationship, right? Mm-hmm. So let us know, but thank you so much and have a great day.
Bye.
Goodbye. Okay, I'm back for one more question because this was really good and I didn't see it this morning when we were recording, and so all day I was looking for an opportunity to talk to you very quickly for one more question. So kids are playing outside, you might hear them yelling in the background. So I said I'm going to really quickly answer this question. It is from an Instagram follower who's SA84. I wish I could remember your name. I'm sure I could go look it up. But anyway, let me answer this real quick before I get interrupted. She said, they are playing tag, so they're going to get loud. She said, how did you first introduce your children to Jesus and read the Bible with them, and how did this evolve as they grew? For example, infants, pre-verbal, and then toddlers, etc. Would you go back to a simple communication method with a new sibling with less understanding, or how did you make sure they were included at their level? And I've been thinking a lot about this question since I first came through, because I don't really remember introducing Jesus to my children. And I think it's because Jason and I are really verbal people. We talk out loud together in front of our children, and so we talk about the Lord, we talk about our faith, we read the Bible out loud, and so they were just always around for that. Oh, you guys are fun. Okay, let me answer this one question while you play. Okay? Just answer. Okay. Have fun. You guys have fun? Buddy, I'm answering one YouTube question, and then, okay, so go play your tag. We're almost ready for dinner.
This is my
So, I don't remember introducing them in that way because it's just part of our life, that just something we talk about. Just like I never introduced them to their grandma or grandpa or aunt or uncle. You just don't think to do that because that's just, they're part of your family and part of your life from the time that child is born. And so it's not, not somebody that you're going to suddenly introduce. And we do both. We read from the actual Bible where our children can hear. So they're always hearing the Bible in the grown-up words, even before they can speak. They're always hearing that. And we have children's Bibles. We have the, I think it's called the Jesus Storybook Bible. I think is a really moving children's Bible. I actually was really impacted by that Bible. It tells the story of the whole Bible as a storybook, and shows how Jesus was part of the story from the beginning, Genesis, to the end. So I can link that below. So we have that one and some other, children's Bibles as well. And then they also were part of Community Bible Study, which we go to every Friday. And whatever book we're studying, we're in Isaiah right now. Each child from first grade up has a workbook that's age appropriate to them with questions and things about that book, so they're getting it that way. And there's another book that I can't recommend personally because I haven't gone through it yet. I just ordered it and I have it, but I haven't gone through it yet. Someone told me about this one, Leading Little Ones to God, and they recommended it and said it was good. And so I found a used copy on Amazon, so I went ahead and bought that one. So we'll see if you want to check that one out. It's just another resource. We'll see if we like that one. So anyway, I hope that answers your question, that we do both. We talk about God and our faith on a little basic level for our little guys, and we talk about it in an adult way too, so that they're hearing both, and there never is, there's never like a huge jump. It's just part of our life. So there you go. Thanks so much for putting up with us. We really had fun with these Q&A videos, and maybe we'll do another one in the future. So bye-bye, guys.